Huh, I didn't know Charlie had his own YouTube channel. I wonder what kind of content he makes. Let's see here. Some vlogs, some let's plays, standard stuff. And his most popular upload is analyzing the toxic fan base of... Oh! Nope. I'm not touching that one. Not touching that one. Continuing where we left off last week, Hakutan was still recovering from overexerting herself to protect Hana. Understandably, Hana herself wanted to quit being a Precure, especially after remembering Henri's words from episode 8. Would have kind of helped if you used that flashback last week. Yeah, I'm still not completely buying into this drama, mostly due to the subpar execution of last week's episode, but I will admit, this is a nicely framed scene. And same goes for the following scene between Hana and her mother. Both scenes do a decent job of illustrating Hana's struggles with dealing with the stress that comes with not just being a Precure, but also a girl of her age who was unsure of what she can do to become an active member of her society. And unlike last week, where her talk with Saya and Homari felt kind of intrusive, Hana's mom does give a really nice story about the birth of her daughter. The next day, Hana is feeling a little better and takes a step outside.
That was dramatic.
Also, good lord are these neighborhoods roads wide. But yeah, Homari and Saya welcome Hana back into the group with literal open arms. Good timing too, as the Mirai Pad was providing a clue on how they could wake up Hakutan. Through it, they again stumble upon their classmates' band performance. Figures based off of this episode's title that they'd somehow tie this all back to music. Anyway, they use the tones of the band playing to help synchronize the beating of their hearts with Hakutan's, allowing her to finally wake up. Meanwhile, at the villain's HQ, Charlie was having a very bad day. I guess Cryos has sent him down to one of their subsidiaries. Oh. Yeah. My deepest condolences, buddy. No, actually, I think it had something to do with the expulsion room Purple mentioned in the last episode, and I think they did a little more than just cut the poor guy's salary in half. As a final chance to avoid the unemployment line, Kurayasu assigned him a special project, One-Winged Angel Project. However, before that, Hana again has an encounter with the mystery man from a few episodes back.
なぜ少女は戦うことができたのか。誰かのために身を削ってまで。富のため。名声のため。Yeah, just unload all of your cryptic mumbo jumbo and then let whatever Final Fantasy hero take you down. Seriously, I can't be the only one getting some JRPG final boss vibes from this guy, right? Though before the final boss, of course they have to deal with a mid-boss. And while the past few weeks' fights have been kind of short, anticlimactic affairs, this one more than makes up for it by being probably one of the best of the season so far. I mean, yeah, it lacks the flair of a Watanabe fight, but the scope, the intensity, and of course the fact that it's a pure grudge match for Charlie makes this one of the best fights with a general level enemy in all of Precure. At one point, Hana's sister and Emiru almost get caught in the crossfire, and the scene goes gray, which means... Darn it, Hana, and I was ready with a Sailor Pluto clip and everything. Another day, Setsuna, another day. Oh well, at least she kinda makes up for it by smacking Charlie with a chunk of the building. That kind of evens things out. All of this finally leads to Hana acquiring her second Mirai Crystal, which transforms into a sword. Damn, this season isn't pulling any punches. Hana is about to deliver the final blow, but after seeing a brief flash of her frightened enemy, she holds back. A distraught Charlie starts to break down in more ways than one, so Hana does the only thing she can do for the poor guy. As a result, she rejects the sword and... Yeah guys, what you need isn't a sword, but something a little bit more toyetic. I mean, wow, what a way to ruin an emotionally charged scene there, guys. So after ripping off the finisher of the Sweet Precure team, they heal Charlie, turning him into, tree. Do the toy animators tend to trade ideas between one another? Well, anyway, the episode ends with Hana reuniting with Hakutan and being promoted to the position of a 14-year-old mother after the toddler speaks her first words. As much as I complained about the rush pace of last week's episode, then I stand by those criticisms, I will admit, they at least followed up on it pretty darn well.
Unlike last week, this episode felt far better paced in my opinion. No scene felt overly long or dragged out, but still delivered just the right amount of emotional impact. Ignoring how we got to the situation in the first place, Hana struggling with her inferiority complex was handled well, and did show a lot of growth on her part as a person and as a superheroine. I joked about her sword turning into a glorified toy commercial, which it was, but her rejecting the sword did also represent an important theme found in every Precure series in the franchise. That being how the Precure don't just fight with their fists, but also their kindness and understanding of other people's suffering. Though, speaking of fights, I don't think I can emphasize enough how great this week's fight was, helped by the fact that we could actually feel sorry for the villain. Yeah, Charlie could be a lazy douche, but seeing him being pushed to the breaking point by both his workplace and society is very tragic and all too real, especially in the Japanese workforce. I could be wrong, but I can't help but feel like his transformation into an Oshimaida is a representation of kaoshi, or death by overworking. It certainly wouldn't be the first time Toei made a cartoony representation of a real-life tragedy. At least Charlie went on with a lot more dignity, and honestly I hope this isn't the last we see of him. I'd hate if his final scene was him turning into a vampire tree. All in all, a really good episode and a great conclusion to likely the first major story arc of the series. If you haven't seen it yet, check out my review for the first half of the second volume of the Kyakkya Precure all-aboard manga. It's a fun little review with stuff like an obese pecorine and squirrels covered in chocolate. How does that not sound enticing? Enjoy it, and look forward to all my future reviews. And until then though, farewell for now my friends, and remember, you don't need any fancy weapons or the like to take down your enemies. Very obviously plastic toys work just as well.